with floodwaters still covering millions of acres of farmland across the country, the first assessments of what impact it's going to have on this year's crops are coming in. Neil Melancon now joins us with this week's Bottom Line. And Neil, a lot of crops underwater out there, but what's it going to mean to producers as well as food costs here in the country?
Well, Mike, this past week we've seen a number of different weather-related news items. The biggest part of it is actually not the floods here, but the rains in the Midwest, which is continuing to delay the corn planting progress, and it's almost too late to get all that corn in the ground. If you remember when the USDA released its prospective planting report at the end of March, a very small corn carryover that's being projected is based on ideal weather that will allow all that corn to be produced. So far, we're off to a slow start here, and many farmers are thinking about making the switch over to later planted soybeans. We should have a fairly comfortable amount of beans right now, so more beans would negatively impact the markets, while the lost corn would be bullish for grains. The bottom line here is that the market forces are shaping up exactly like 2008, where corn climbed higher and peaked in July around $8 a bushel before a rapid decline. However, the big difference between then and now is the lack of any foreseeable downside to this market, especially if all the corn doesn't get planted and we get any more negative weather events such as more rain, a significant midsummer drought like the kind already gripping much of Texas and Louisiana, or an early frost up north. These higher prices might become a necessity for farmers, Mike, as oil is projected to spike again by early next year at $140 per barrel, already adding to the significant cost of fuel producers are facing right now.
And Neil, it is a very frustrating position that farmers are in right now. High prices that they haven't seen in years with the inability to get in a crop. Neil Melancon, thanks. And remember, you can listen to any of Neil's reports on the Louisiana Farm Bureau radio network for a list of stations, or to listen to Neil's reports online, you can visit our website at twilatv.org and look for the link called LFB Radio Network on the left side of the home page. That does it for this edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Join us again next week when we'll show you what the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries is doing to keep wildlife fleeing the floodwaters out of farmers' fields. Until then, you can watch any of our stories online. You know the address, twilatv.org. For all of us here at This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Michael Dana. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Hope to see you again right here next week.